guys and gals? Never here from Drake Gaming. And something on Twitter, the Gaming Drag. Today I'm coming back at some Let's Play episode of Roads Yet Traveled, Merrick's Path. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Alarm changing, we're up, and let's go! A few Carrain are mingling about, and one in particular even seems excited to see us. Although instead of looking at me, they seem to be smiling at Merrick. Saris, it's been quite some time. Hey, Doc. You know, when I got your message, I almost thought it was an accident. It's been, what, 3 cycles now? Nah, it could be more than 2. Ha! We both know that's not true. Still, that's far too long. Really, you're always welcome. Yeah, I know, Doc. Thanks. You did read the rest of the message, though, right? Of course. Everything is set up. We're about to go on break for the day, anyways. I believe you know how to lock up when you're done. Unless you change the locks. It's good to see you, truly. But I'll leave you to it. The both of you. He finally acknowledges me before heading out, being followed by the rest of his team shortly after. Savoring my ignorance, Merrick doesn't even bother giving me time to question what just happened, as he gets to work on a nearby wall panel. Walking over, I can't help but ask, So you, come here often? Heh, not anymore. He seemed nice. Oh, he is. Still no explanations? You're pushing it, kid. Do I have to tell Doc he's being replaced? He has such a fragile heart, Merrick. How could you do this to him? What? Nah. The Doc will always be Doc, and as long as they're never in the same room, I don't gotta change a damn thing. He chuckles as he finishes plugging a few more commands into the monitor. Totally not confusing at all, thanks. Don't think about it too much. Just shut up and enjoy the view, kid. What view? I'm cut off as the door opens and a bright light overtakes the room. Covering my eyes as I adjust, I can only see Merrick gesturing at me to head in. A dumb smile plastered on his face. Sighing and taking the lead, I step through the threshold and... Immediately, I'm overwhelmed by the smell of dirt and the warmth in the air. My boots sink into the soft ground as I walk off the small path, and I think I even feel a soft breeze on my skin. As I stroll through the room, I feel something calling to me, and I look up. Taking off my jacket, I stare up, and finally feel the warmth of a star on my skin once again. God, I've missed this. Worth the wait? And then some. Falling to my rear, I hear Merrick breathe in sharply before taking some heavy steps towards me, only to stop as I pat the grass next to me. I can only imagine what he must be thinking. I can hear a mouth open in protest, a thought failing to materialize, and then I hear a Carrain crouching down and sitting next to me. Placing my jacket behind me, I lean back, resting on my arms as I bask in the soft amber light. I watch as the breeze flows through the grass and leaves fall from the trees. I watch as the light reflects off the massive windows, only to be cut into its constituent pieces as the rainbow dances on its borders. The beautiful greens of the room only cut by the stark expanse of space, and a certain crimson individual sitting next to me. Well, you gonna talk now? Nah. Throwing his arms back, he lays in the grass, his eyes closed as he slowly breathes in and out. Taking him up on his silent offer, I use my jacket as a pillow and join him. Lying but a foot apart on the dense earth, our breathing becomes paced and matched as I'm almost lulled to sleep in the tranquil room. Looking up, the stars are nice, but turning on my side, I find myself staring at him instead. Oh, that's pretty. A gentle wind blowing across his short fur, barely even noticeable except in the direct light. His ears twitch as the grass tickles at their edges. His chest oh so slowly expands and deflates, and his nose twitches ever so slightly as he becomes acquainted with the room. It's hard to say if I've ever seen him this calm before. He scratches his muzzle before sighing and letting out a, "Okay, I'm ready." Huh? Your questions. Go on. I'm ready. Oh, I think the second I saw that star, all the thoughts melted from my mind. His eyes open and he turns to me, laying on his side now, propped up on one arm. He lets out a small indignant chuckle before rapping me on the chest with his knuckles. Well, or did I do such a good job you've got nothing to say, huh? Well, I don't know if I'd say that. He all but calls my bluff, giving me a very knowing look. But yeah, I'd say you did a pretty good job, Merrick. I always do. Let's not go that far, but fine. What is this place? Hydroponics. Hydroponics. Technically, it's a hydroponics lab C12, but I don't think anybody calls it that. They grow crops here and test them for various things. It's been explained to me a few times, but I think the gist of it is like to see if they can make them grow faster and stuff like that. Does the crew eat this stuff? Probably, but this isn't where we grow most of the edibles. Those would be in column B. Oh, alright. Is that Rias? Yep. I think so, at least. You think so? Could be a reflection off of the Yayo or Urium. Happens sometimes. Oh, I guess that makes sense. Still, it's so small from here. Yeah. I even think the eye was brighter than this. Listlessly, I raised my arm, tracing circles in the void as I point towards the star. Yeah, orange dwarves ain't all that bright. Not compared to whatever the fuck the eye is. Oh, look at you, using the correct terminology. Who knew you had so many talents? I've got plenty of talents. Most people just don't listen. Is botany one of them? He must have picked up on what I was insinuating, as when I turned to look at him, I see he's looking away. He breathes in, closing his eyes and resting his paws on his stomach, before breathing out, opening his eyes, looking up. No, he says as the fringe of what looks like a blush starts to appear around his ears. But gardening is. Merrick, Listen, kid, you don't gotta make a funny quip about that one, okay? I've already heard them all. Merrick. He rolls onto his side to look at me, his ears slicked back as his muzzle is contorted into a cute little slant. I was gonna say, I think that's lovely. You were? Of course. But why wouldn't I? Most Carrain don't really care about that kind of stuff. Especially not now, not after Reich. What do you mean? Just, most people don't see any reason for it. When you can grow an entire planet's worth of food just like that, where's the merit in working with your hands anymore? I don't know, maybe that's just been an alien thing. It's kind of hard to explain. He holds his paws up in front of him, flipping them over and over and over, staring at his fingers. Doc's from Urium. He understands what I mean. Huh. Doc's from Yayo. What are you talking about? Heh. Wrong Doc. What are you... you have to pick a better name for him. Heh. I will not. But is that why you came here? The garden? I'm sorry, I still don't understand. Propping myself up, I do my best to meet him head on, but I can see he's still resisting, still turning away. I don't know why I came here. Merrick? He lets out a small sigh, or rather he tried to, but it sounded more like a whine. It was just different on Urium, I guess. People clawed into the dirt with everything they had just to try and make something beautiful, and yet the sand took most of it. I don't know what Doc's told you about the place, but most of the planet's still just desert. Even with the Oasis programs, it's still rough to live outside the cities, for a variety of reasons. I was never very good at it anyways. Gardening, that is. I kept trying, though. For a while. But every time I had something going, some storm would just come and blow it all away. Felt poetic almost, but that'd kind of be more your realm of expertise. After joining Suknos, though, I was surprised. I figured with how Yayo is these days, everyone would want a garden, but I guess not. He pauses only to sigh and stare up at Rias, leaving me completely in the dark as to what he's implying. Maybe they think it's below them, just like everything else is at this point. Huh? What do you mean? Doc really didn't give you a great overview of the shit, did he? I guess not. He sighs, his jaw moving below a closed muzzle, trying to find the best way to shape the words. Most Eayans don't really live on Yayo anymore. Eo. They call it Eo? Probably Eo. They live in low orbit or something like that. I've never been myself, so you might want to ask Doc about the specifics, and really ask him about it, but yeah, most of the population lives on these big city-sized platforms. Looking at him with disbelief, he only shrugs as he leans back, staring up at the star. Rarely one to mention his words, I find it myself to believe him, even if I'm not so sure I want to. I knew they had some vague overpopulation issues, but I never imagined something like that would be the solution. Letting the breeze wash the doubt away, we sit in silence for a good while before I think Tyr said his family were farmers, so maybe not everyone looks down on it. So why'd you stop? Huh? You said you stopped. Stopped gardening. That doesn't seem like you. You don't know me, kid. I know you well enough to know you're thick-headed and enough to keep trying at least. I don't know. I think I got swept up in the station life. I mean, don't get me wrong, I didn't have that much fucking free time when I first started. Void, I swapped stations like 4 times in my first cycle, and none of them had any plants on them at all. When I got here, I guess I just lost interest. There's a certain glimmer in his eye before he wipes it away with his jacket. Not just anyone can ask to come in here and do shit like this. That only happened after... well, after this. He gestures to his false eye. Doc, suggested that part of my rehab should be like, getting in touch with things that I like doing. And unfortunately, patrolling wasn't an option. I found this place by accident, really. It's not even a Suckness-backed project, so I hadn't even been inside before then. When I saw that they were, short on staff, I figured I'd offer to help. I don't know what came over me. He leans his head way back and closes his eyes as he continues reminiscing. I, got turned away. Wait, what? Oh, they were grateful I asked, but they didn't think a half-blinded paraplegic would be of much use with, well, anything. Can't say I blame him either. I guess the accident banged him up worse than I thought, but I don't remember Doc saying anything about him getting hurt besides his eye. So, what happened? You know what happened. I can only make a confused expression as he chuckles to himself. Waving a paw in the air as he replies, I'm thick-headed. I just came back the next day and the day after that. Eventually they let me in, even though they basically just used me as a mobile table for a few days. Things did get better, though. I started walking again, and pretty soon I was good to go for work. I was still banned from doing patrols for another month, so, Doc, please choose a different name for him. So Professor Ron suggested I assist in regrowing some samples here. This whole room got torn up by the debris from the accident. Everything had to be replaced and regrown. He had heard I was from Urium, and even let me grow some local flora. I didn't even know we had any until then. So for a month or so, that was it. I'd check in with Doc in the mornings, then come help out. Ron even suggested I take up a position here, but I could never tell if he was joking. Did you enjoy it? I think so. But I care about my crew more. Anyways, after the accident, I needed someone to lead them, and that fell onto me. But, was that it? You came here for a month and then... Well, no, it just became less frequent. I should state, Rias, that most of the stuff I planted died, like, fast. It's why I could never tell if Ron was being serious. Turns out I'm a pretty shit gardener. So much for it being a talent. I can't help but let out a small laugh, but unfortunately I think he finds it funny as well. Alright, gonna go ahead and pause it right there. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon or YouTube memberships if you can. It always helps. Anyway, I love you all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!